This episode of Crashed While Loading is brought to you by Disgusting Cleaners Anonymous. Every year, tens of people realize they have a problem. It affects their families and their loved ones. It was no big deal at first. I'd scrape the dead skin particles from between the cracks on my own mouse and the skin and ear gunk from my headset. But after a while, it wasn't enough, I needed more. That's when I went to my kids' electronics to get that satisfaction, but still I needed more. I was arrested in the lobby of a Best Buy after breaking in. They caught me. Dozens of used mice all around me, scraping out the gunk between the keyboards and the mice and the controllers and anything I could get my hands on, really. That's when I realized I'd hit rock bottom. I needed help. I couldn't do it alone. Tragic. Truly tragic. So if you know someone that secretly enjoys cleaning their own dead skin cells from their mice and other electronics, don't wait. Do the right thing. Contact Disgusting Cleaners Anonymous. We can send them to get proper help in a judgment-free zone for their vulgar and vile habits. And now, on with the show.
Welcome to the Crashed While Loading podcast.
Does internet porn know you're cheating on it?
Video games,
Well, excuse me, princess.
movies and TV,
Don't worry, Professor. I was an accident, too.
half-assed reviews,
Just as I suspected. Hollow!
and everything else.
Chief, mate, what do you want to do tonight?
Off. We need to go on a quick adventure.
Hello, people of Earth! Welcome to Crashed While Loading. This is our third episode, and we have an amazing show for you. A solid, it's got to be at least 10, 15 minutes worth of content that we are going to pack into a good 60 to, 65, maybe 70 minutes, depending. I don't know. I'm, of course, your host, Ashen Phoenix, and with me today is Jazz, Strafe,
What's happening?
and the Yoonfair.
Hello.
How's everybody doing?
We're doing.
Wait for them to say it good.
Good. That was good.
We're all good here now. How are you?
Right. Well, that was a thing that we just did, so. Like I said, we got a lot of good stuff for you today. Nothing solid. Like I said, it's easily, I don't know, a little bit of stuff we've got. Elder Scrolls Blades is coming to Switch. Pac-Man and Empire are both 40, which is not something I realized they both came out the same year. I don't know why, but Pac-Man seems so much older. Is that
Definitely
me? I don't know why that is. It is right, but
maybe because we played it in an arcade machine way back in the day.
yeah. And I don't think I remember seeing. I always remember seeing Pac-Man, but I don't think I really remember Star Wars until 5 or 6 is probably when it's kind of like, oh yeah, that's a thing. That's a Star Wars. I like the Star Wars. So I don't know. Well, we've got so much stuff here. Anybody been playing anything neat recently? Anything new, perhaps?
I wish. Nope.
Nope. Still the same old ESO and
I am a boring person. I've even gone back to Banished, so.
Vanished. Which one
Banished.
was... Oh, Banished.
Yeah.
That's right. I don't know
It's
why I heard
a
of
city
V.
builder game
Yeah.
that I can do in my sleep and is weirdly relaxing.
It's relaxing. I'm having fun.
There's a new one coming out called Surviving the Aftermath. It's it's basically Banished, but with more stuff. I think you would really enjoy that.
I'll have to look it up. That would be good.
Yeah. So is that like a SimCity kind of a thing then? Like this, or is it like a real-time strategy where you build it and then someone attacks it?
It's more like Fallout. Banished is more like 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
And the premise is you're banished to some far-off place, and you have to make it or break it with like 6 families and a barn.
Oh. So when does
And
the cannibalism kick in?
Well, you have to wonder sometimes. One of the times that I made it back from the end, I was down to 9 children and 3 adults.
Sounds like a high-tech Oregon Trail, man.
Yeah.
Yes. It's and the kids were all married at 8. And they started having babies by 10, and you're just like, oh, I don't like this. I don't like this. And, brothers and sisters, and it was awful.
So basically, you're creating the village from The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But I've gotten better, so I don't have that happen very often now, and I regularly bring in nomads, even though they're always bringing disease with them. But
as nomads tend to do.
Yeah. So, but I have my
Gypsies,
doctor.
I'm looking at you.
So... Oh, stop it.
What? What's a good
not
17th
supposed to
century
say
joke?
Gypsies. Gypsies is a bad word.
No,
yeah?
It's funny because everyone still says you got gypped, and that's exactly where that comes from.
That's
It's
it.
actually the most used derogatory term that's accepted across the world, and nobody understands it at all. But boy, you say one thing about if you don't vote for one guy and you vote for another, you're not black, and everybody loses their mind. Am I right?
No kidding. Wow. Yeah.
I feel bad for Joe Biden. He really just shouldn't be in front of a microphone.
He's an idiot.
It's sad.
Instead of
I actually
gypsies,
feel bad. I legitimately think he has mental. He's not where he used to be at all. He just doesn't see it. I feel so bad for him. I'm not voting for him, but I still feel bad. I can feel bad for people I don't care about, except for Kim Jong-un, who is, of course, the Lazarus of our age.
The Lazarus.
Well, he was dead, and now he's alive. So it's Lazarus or Jesus. Which one is it?
I mean, he's got a unicorn hit out somewhere, right?
He does have a unicorn.
Propaganda
head.
is to be believed.
Yeah. They have the North Korea does have the only official unicorn den in known existence. Outside of, 12-year-old and 5-year-old girls' playrooms everywhere across the planet. Other than that,
yeah,
it's the only one. Yeah. So
any other games we've been playing?
Yeah, go for it.
I've been playing in 76. I didn't really play anything new. I was asking y'all.
Oh, okay. Well, I tried something new. I've actually tried a few games. I'm playing through I don't know if it's supposed to be vampire or vampire. It's the guy that looks like he's got the the hipster haircut where it's long in the middle but shaved on the sides, which fits perfectly into 1918. But yeah, it's a vampire single player vampire game. It's not bad. It's not, it's not Red Dead Redemption or The Witcher or anything like that. But I mean, you're a vampire. You don't know how you were turned into a vampire. Then, like, the second you wake up, you eat somebody that I guess named Mary. Why did you say that name? Well, not the same thing, but still. And she was your sister, or love interest. I don't know. They really kind of glanced over that. It's like, oh, it was a real big dramatic thing when he woke up and he just saw her beating heart, and then he vampire bit her and ate her and killed her, and then you run from people, and then you just kind of move on with your life.
I gotta stop you for a second. Is your sister / love interest? This is like got a strange parallel to Jazz's inbred game in the hills. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
this might be a theme today.
Well, that's the thing. It didn't really. It was a very big dramatic. It was the Khan with the camera above him as he cradles her now dying body in his lap, and then he's like, Mary, Mary, oh, Mary. Except he's got a British accent and doesn't sound like Charlton Heston. And Mary. And then some guys see that he's over a body, and they start chasing him because they're vampire hunters. I guess they knew he would be there. I don't know how. And then you run through the city, and then you move on with your day. And they don't really mention her ever again so far. And you're looking for the person that made you a vampire, but the combat's kind of neat. It's pretty basic. You can tell they telegraph their attacks because there's the other vampires, but they're the I don't know, they're like the ESO version of like the Soul Shriven. They're vampires, but they're not really like they're vampires.
How would you rate it against like Blood Rain from back in the day?
I never played Blood Rain, to be honest with you.
Oh, it was pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I know it doesn't hold up well at all.
No, not now.
No,
but
in the movie by Uwe Boll was also equally. Oof.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch those at all.
Yeah, no, nobody did. And yet he still kept making movies. But no, I mean it's good. I'd give it, if I had to put a score to it, I'd give it a 7. If you like vampires and you like, I mean the periods, the period piece of it, the acting, the voice acting, and the setting of it is absolutely fantastic. They do a really good job of that. But like the dialogue choices, it's like sometimes there's one where it's no reason for him to be angry, and you're just like, why would you? Some couple is having an affair as a black man and a white woman. Of course, it's 1918, so that's supposed to be the big thing. But of course, being
that's the big edge.
That's yeah. But him being the forward-thinking doctor that he is, he's a vampire that also happens to be big on blood transfusions and an expert in his field, coincidentally. He's like, you pick the option of like, that's against policy. Like, it just says, that's against policy. That's the dialogue option. And then when you click on it, he says, everything you're doing is going to get you fired. And he's like super vicious and violent about it. I'm like, whoa, that's.
Oh, one of those.
That's not what I picked. I wasn't going for. But then they're like, yeah, so, and there's no actual repercussions for him getting all bent out of shape. So I guess it was okay. But overall, I'm going to keep playing it. It's fun. Okay. It's stupid, but it is a good looking game. I'll give him that much. It's just not. It's not like a AAA kind of a
Not polished that well. You're saying?
Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah, I mean it doesn't. At least it doesn't glitch out or anything. It's just kind of the writing choices for some of the dialogue options. Like, all right, we need one more. Have them tell them that it's against company policy. I mean, that was against company policy then, like it is today, right? Sure. I don't know.
I guess the main question is, do you regret buying it, or is it okay?
I think I spent like $5 on it, so it's $5 worth of okay.
Oh, hey, well there you go.
Mm-hmm. And then the other thing I've been playing is, and this I'll give you a half-ass. This is the true half-ass review because I've only played about an hour into it. Amazon's new game Crucible, which everybody knew Amazon was releasing a game this week, didn't they? Everybody?
No.
You saw the commercials? No idea. Advertisements on Facebook? Nobody? Oh, yeah. You know why? Because nobody did. I don't know why.
Why would they release a game and not tell anybody? That's so stupid.
And that's the thing. I think this is their first major release because we know they're working on that MMO New World, I think it's called.
Yeah.
We know about that one. This one came out of nowhere. I think I heard about this about a week and a half ago, and it was because I always check gaming websites. And if you don't do that, I don't think I'd have heard about this anywhere else. But it looked like it was supposed to be I thought it was going to be like a battle royale, like Apex Legends, but with the character kind of thing like Apex Legends and Overwatch does. So, you go into a giant map with 100 people, but the curve on this one was you had map objectives as well, and there's NPC alien creatures out there that could also kill you, not just other players. And I was like, that sounds good. So that was incorrect assumption, and based off of the videos I had watched of it. It's not really a bad game, I will say, but it's extremely limited at the moment. I don't think it's complete yet. So a lot of people also had connection issues on the very first day or two, but I never really had that problem because I forgot about it for a day or two, so I didn't really do it right away. The most thing I saw of glitch-wise was doing the tutorial. There were NPCs when I was shooting at them, and then there was like a little thing next to them, and you shoot that, and it makes like a poof of cloud that was supposed to be poison dust. Well, apparently the poison dust also made the game glitch, and the bad guy would disappear, but still be able to attack you.
Oh, fun!
Right, but at least it was just the tutorial. I haven't ran into that in the actual game, which was awesome because we won. The other big problem with this, at least for now, and they say this is coming, but this is what you guys let me know if this part of it maybe sounds like it's an incomplete game. There's no actual in-game communication, either in voice or text, other than what Apex Legends does, where you can point your mouse, your character's pointing their gun at a screen, and you can click the little mouse button, and then your character will be like, this looks interesting. That's all the communication there is.
Wow.
That sounds rushed, man.
Yeah, there's no voice, there's no text. So this would also mean, given that this is a team-based like 4v4 or 2v2, v2, v2, v2 game, anybody that goes in pre-established on a team and uses Discord is probably going to wipe the floor with everybody else, because communication in those games is key. I mean,
yep.
I don't know how they wouldn't dominate. I mean, I got lucky, and it could have just been me, but the one couple rounds I played, the very first round I played, it was a 4v4, and I thought it would be more like I said, I thought it was a battle royale. I thought it'd be like a whole bunch of teams of 4, but I think it was just us versus another team of 4 trying to get these. We had to basically 3 flags. Is like capture the flag, but the flag randomly spawned on the map. And I don't think we lost a single team member. We just killed that other team over and over and over and over again, repeatedly. And
ouch!
And captured all 3 of the little, they call them hives or something, little hearts, the heart hives. And yeah, we dominated them. It was a lot of fun for us, but I can't imagine it was too great for the other team. I don't know if we just got lucky with a great first team or what, but man, we just wrecked them. And I know I went in at level 1, and I think 2 or 3 of the others, almost all of us were all level 1. It was all our first time playing. We didn't know what we were doing. And apparently the other team knew less.
Before you ever feel guilty about crushing them, any of these noobs, just remember Conan's wise words, what is best in life?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're
the
good.
Lamentations of their women. That's right. But no, I mean, it's fun. I'm going to probably plug it in. I might actually might stream an hour or 2 of that. I don't know. It just seems like it really seems unfinished, like big time.
Sounds unfinished, yeah.
Yeah. Also, another thing that would probably go into the unfinished thing, I saw some people were complaining that it doesn't have a mini map. Like it does have a map so you can see, but I mean, honestly, I kind of noticed it at first, but then it didn't really bother me because it's one of those games where you can see the outline of your teammates anywhere through the terrain, through whatever. So if you just look around, you can see where your teammates are at. It's not like you have to have the little mini map to find them. I guess some people like that security blanket. It didn't really bother me. I'd just be like, I'm all by myself. Where's my team? Oh, there's 2 of them. I'll go towards them. And then we met up and killed some people again. So it has a solid foundation. I mean, it's got a lot of promise, but it's definitely not nearly as polished as it should be for their first foray and first big release. But I will say one thing. The cash shop works perfectly.
Of course it
does. What shop?
The cash shop. Cash shop.
Oh, the cash shop. Yeah. Well, of course it does. That's how they make all their money from the nitwits.
Yeah, well, it is free to play, so...
I am really, really, really hoping that this whole free-to-play thing goes bye-bye.
It makes so much money. I don't know that it will.
I really want a subscription again. I like it so much better.
Yeah, it was. It was nice.
Make it too much money that way.
Mm-hmm. People don't realize how much money they're spending though when they do it in little bitty
play.
Increments.
You do understand you probably dropped 10 times what you would have paid in a sub.
They probably no.
But the thing is that subscription games get rid of the people who don't take it seriously.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's kind of in MMOs, but like this is geared towards kids with moms. You know, that's what they're after. That's how Fortnite
it's a
became
kiddie
Fortnite.
thing.
Yeah. And it's very, very colorful graphics. I hate to even say this. It's not even they're not really even as polished as Fortnite. Like they're a little more realistic in their character design, but they're still super exaggerated. But their textures are kind of blurry up close. Like you're stuck in third person over the shoulder, kind of like Gears of War.
Yeah.
And the character's a little blurry at times. It's a little weird because he's
going with a theme
right
of
there in front
lack
of you.
of polish and buggy additions.
Yeah.
Even AAA games are not immune to it.
Oh
I
no.
was talking to my lead artist at work. He plays Destiny pretty good.
Mhm.
They keep releasing these mass content updates for the community where if, let's say, 80% of the community does this hard mode thing, they unlock this gear. But 80% of the population base doesn't want to play it, so they're shooting themselves in the foot over there at Bungie as well. So it's not just these small companies; it's the big guys too.
Yeah. Well, and this is Amazon. I mean, the most the richest man on earth owns this company. You know, billions. He makes.
Yeah, but he's not really good at it. That's pretty clear
Yeah.
that he doesn't understand how it works. You can't
Yeah.
I don't care how much money you have, you still have to make nice with all the other people and work with gamers and get them interested.
Yeah, and
if
I
you don't
forget
do
the-
that, it's not going to do you any good.
I forget the studio that actually, because I mean, it's under the umbrella. It's kind of Amazon Games is basically EA, like, and then they bought studios
Ew.
that work. I mean, not like EA. I mean, like a parent company, and then
Oh,
they
okay.
buy the studios underneath that to make
Right.
the games. And I forget, it was something with an R, and of course I can't find it now. Learn more, but they're the ones that actually made it. They just, Amazon bought the studio and then they funded it to try to make this game. But they're also, you're jumping on a gravy train that, how old is Overwatch 2 is coming out next year. So you're already on a gravy train that's kind of at the bottom of the gravy boat. And going up against someone like Blizzard.
The only way you're going to make it, and I don't understand why these people don't get this, is not to try to copy the games that are already there, but to come up with your own thing.
Yeah.
Why doesn't that occur to them? That's what I don't understand.
Same thing with the movie industry.
It's the same thing with the movie industry.
Because
it's more
money.
risky to gamble on an unknown IP than it is to
But these people gamble every day. You'd think they'd be like, if we just copy everyone else, we're just going to get a piece of the pie. Why not go for the whole fucking pie?
But Jazz, they know established IPs are going to draw a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
So
And
they're
I bet you this
guaranteed-
ends up making its money back. I wouldn't be surprised, but it's going to take. It depends on if people will give it a second chance now. But that's been happening more and more in games. What you just said, Strafe, Destiny 2.
Yep.
That one, that bald Anthem from BioWare.
Yeah.
That one bombed and
bombed horribly.
And I still, unfortunately, that's a bad example because
And
it's still
didn't I
bombed.
just read something that they're rethinking Anthem or
Yes.
starting over or something?
They're basically going to have to revamp it from the ground. They're trying to do what No Man's Sky did. No Man's Sky bombed, and now supposedly it's a great game. People like me, I'm still not going to give it a chance anymore.
Yeah, me either.
Mostly, I just don't have the time or the will to even give it a shot again. But it's supposedly a completely different game now. And that's what they're kind of going for. A lot of these, they're like, well, maybe we can just release it as is and then see. Battlefront 2 was another one. Horrible game.
I just don't get it. You'd think, I don't know. I guess maybe I have more integrity or something. It's like, why not make a good game?
And that's why, I'm glad you said integrity. That's why this episode's brought to you by Raid Shadowlet. No, just kidding. It's not. They're going to never like us.
These guys are doing, okay, so they're all competing with Fortnite, so let's make our own version of Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're doing. Instead of, if you're BioWare, you have control of Mass Effect and Dragon Age, dude,
like
make something in your realm and you're gonna make some money. But they're trying to chip it in that gravy train Ashton was talking about of we need our version of Fortnite.
Yeah,
and
Anthem was supposed to be that. Was it a persistent game of persistent online game, not an MMO, but one that requires you to. It's always updated like an MMO, but it's like.
Right.
Like
they were
those
trying to
guys
get
were.
up on like what all these other software programs are doing, and it's a stupid idea, and I hope it dies a horrible death.
I don't foresee the Division
It's horrible.
and Anthem and what's the one you just said, Strafe, and it's already gone now.
Destiny.
Destiny. I think that's a genre that's going to probably slowly die out. At least that one will. Because they can't. I mean, I enjoy, and don't get me wrong. I enjoyed both Division 1 and Division 2, but I didn't stick with them. There's just not that much to do, like compared to an actual MMO. And then you have things like Anthem. I didn't even give it a try, and then Destiny 2 was just not fun. It wasn't good. Even Destiny 1, I don't think they made it very long in that. So, but there's my half-assed review of Amazon's Crucible, at least for now. If something changes, I might let you know if I remember it. And
so Crucible is just supposed to be some kind of dueling game like Battleground?
It's 4v4. It's 4v4 like Overwatch, but without linear maps and things like that. Yeah. It's not a battle.
So
it's not even a battle royale.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Mm-hmm. And it does have. It's only got 2 modes. It's got the 4v4, and it also has a 2v2v2v2v2. So there's 5 2s in there. So there's.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's their battle royale one from what I saw. Because if your partner gets killed and you meet up with somebody on the map and their partner was killed. If you don't kill each other instantly, which is what I assume would always happen because that's what I would do, you could actually hit your mouse button and communicate, and then you guys could partner up. But then if you make it to the final 3, your partnership dissolves, and then it's a 3-on-3 free-for-all again. So
that's really not gonna...
Right. It's nice in concept, but without being able to be like, dude, don't shoot me, we can team up. On a voice chat. yeah, that thing they don't have. I'm just going to shoot whoever shows up because
they're going to shoot you.
That first shot's going to make the difference between whether I make it to the end or not. That's just me. So, all right.
Smart.
But there's that. And the other one I want to get to, and not so much because it's also an awful game, but because of...
Sorry.
Yeah, you're all right. It's meant to be funny. Unfortunately, it is. Elder Scrolls Blades is coming to Switch. Now, it's a phone game. Elder Scrolls Blades is actually, it's a mobile phone. And apparently with the Switch, you can actually play your account both on your phone or on the Switch. We've talked about it. I think we actually talked about it on RPMMO Radio back when it actually came out.
Yeah, I think we did.
It's a pay not to wait game. So you can either wait for days on end for stuff to build or be made, or you can pay money and...
Right.
Shorten the time. It's also not real great. Doesn't control incredibly well. Now, the real problem with me is we all know Elder Scrolls. We know the theme song, the big, especially from Skyrim, the big boom, 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 boom. Big epic. And it's dun 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 dun. We know that, right? We know. Everybody here, y'all are aware of that music. I mean, even Jazz is, because she plays ESO. So,
right.
By the way, that's an exclusive Ashen Sings. You don't get your money back.
No, yeah, that's also any mental or physical ear damage is not the responsibility of the show. So, which is why this minute-long trailer that they released. Oh, let's see here. Unmute him. Okay, so here's the music. This is Skyrim. Yeah, there. La 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 la. That's that. I mean, right there, we know Elder Scrolls. It's obviously an Elder Scrolls game. Yeah. Why?
Welcome to the show!
I mean, it hurts me a little bit. Just actually playing it.
It's supposed to still be playing.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's a
Just
minute
checking.
long. It's a solid minute
okay.
of torture, and if I had to listen
That's
to it,
awful.
You know what that
have
is,
to listen
right?
to it.
That is a producer's choice way up the chain.
Yeah.
That's
And
what
I mean,
that is.
I get it, and it's coming out for the Switch, and the Switch is, this is supposedly it's Nintendo. It's a Nintendo thing. But for the love of God, man, it's Elder Scrolls. What?
That's pretty. That just sounds nothing like Elder Scrolls. Horrible.
It sounds like some kind of boomer paradise.
Right? And the la 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 la.
What the fuck is that?
That was a new Mario game.
Right? Yeah, there you go. La 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 la. It's a me, a Mario. Okay, cool. Mario game.
Maybe it's Mario Party. That would make sense, but
Or
yeah.
Origami Mario. That's fantastic. I love that. It looks good.
Not so much Elder Scrolls. You're going for high
No.
fantasy.
It just sounds like I would expect a game like what I play currently, which is a modern city building kind of.
Something.
You pay to speed it up. I would not expect Elder Scrolls Blades with that song. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Yeah,
I think Hellcat in the chat says it best. The fuck is that shit?
Yeah.
I mean, succinct, to the point, and I can agree entirely.
Yeah, that was just awful.
I watched that trailer, and
that was.
I think I just sat in my chair just staring at the screen as YouTube loaded up the next video, and I just knew we were playing that on the show because that's fantastic content for comedy. That's all I could think of was like, this is going on the show. Also,
That's
still
awful.
not getting it. I don't care if it's free.
Yeah, no.
So, all right.
I have really found that most of the phone games, with the exception of the few that I play, and of course, unlike you people, I always have the music shut off immediately. So I never hear the music anyway. But
well, the great thing is, I don't think that's the music they're playing during that game itself. I played the phone game. It's Elder Scrolls music. It's just that preview.
And why? That just hurts my brain.
Well, have you seen advertisements for other mobile games? Like they'll advertise one kind of game, like
oh yes,
that's true.
Yeah,
that
and
one
then,
on Facebook that always shows you like pulling the little things out of the thing so that the princess is going to have lava dumped on her or not, and then you download that and it's like it's not that at all.
It's like a match 3 game.
Yeah. I don't get where that. It's funny too because Facebook is all about stopping everybody from saying things on their platform, yet false advertising for video games, that's okay.
It's perfectly okay.
It's all right. Yeah.
And it's unchecked on every platform I see it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like, this isn't the game. Why would you... And the games that they're doing that with are actually fun games. They're pay to play, but
right.
They're still fun. I've played a lot of games on my phone, and once it's like you can't move forward unless you buy X, Y, or Z, I uninstall it. But it was fun until that point.
Right, and then you're like, and then you move on to another game that's called something different. That's the exact same game you were already playing.
Now, the pay to speed up thing, I'm totally okay with, and I play several like that, and I can play it when I'm broke and I can't afford to buy anything.
As long as you're patient.
As long as you're patient. And I will play those games forever. And then when I have the money, I totally do speed it up.
See, you're part of the problem, Jazz.
Oh, I know.
That market Yeah,
I totally am like a pigeonholed person for that because I'm very impatient. But I can play it and do play it often because I've when I first started playing this one game, I think it's called Township. I spent almost $200 in less than 6 weeks.
Good Lord.
I remember that. That was when Jay came up to you and was like, Jazz.
Yeah, I know. It's like, honey, I know you love this game and I spend a lot of money on games and I'm not being a hypocrite. but are you aware
Right.
that you've spent $180 in the last 6 weeks? I'm like, what? No, I haven't. And then I went and looked it up. I was like, oh my God. Because it just didn't.
$2 and $5
they make it so
here and
easy.
there. Yeah.
I didn't even realize. So now I'm very careful, and I only buy when it's on sale. And of course, they figured that out. So now they ping me with sales regularly.
But that right there
Sales.
is why you will always see, or you won't see the subscription model anymore. It's always going to be pay to play because of that.
Because they got $180 for you in 6 months.
Yeah, but they don't anymore.
Right.
So.
But they made their money.
They made their money, yeah. And I want a sub game, and I do think that it will come back in some level, but we're not going to see it as a main thing.
No,
for a while
it'll be
yet.
outliers, especially on mobile, because it would take somebody with real chops and real, like, they just have to stick to their guns, like kind of like CD Projekt Red, the makers of Cyberpunk and Witcher. They stick to their guns. They know they could make an assload of money by putting in DLCs and things like that.
Yes, but they don't.
But they've already said, and because of that, The Witcher 3 still on the top 10 of gaming, and it's a 5-year-old game now. You know?
Yep.
So it works. You stick with your guns,
Jasmine's
and you make
issue,
something good.
When I first started working in the game industry, I was working in a mobile studio, and you could see the insidiousness of getting people to spend money on little bitty stuff to get past the paywall to advance their progress.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since I saw that, I was like, yep, nope, no phone games for me. I've been behind the curtain. I can't unsee what I've seen.
Yeah, I mean,
well,
it's very obvious.
I don't mind as long as the game is playable, but most of them are not. So I have very few games.
Yeah, what was it? Siren Head. Eric is one of the listeners actually pointed out the Siren Head to me. Now, and I found a game for it. It was free to download, but I can, donate money to them if I find it worth my time. And I'm probably going to stream that. I'm only going to stream that one at night because that's a game you would only play at night because it's, it's kind of like the Slender Man. It's the same premise.
Yeah.
So I probably am going to stream that, and if I have fun with it for a good solid hour, I'll probably throw a couple bucks at them.
Well, yeah, that's different. I mean, if you enjoyed it, you're not spending.
But if I got to the first camp or something, or I don't know, I haven't really played it. I've only seen a couple previews, but if I hear Siren Head off in the distance and a window pops up, would you like to hear other Siren Heads for $5? Then yeah, I'm going to delete the game. I'm not going to give them shit.
Of course, yeah, as you should.
But I don't I don't mind
Township,
supporting what I like.
Yeah, I really enjoy the game, and it's very well done, and I do enjoy it. But they're never getting that kind of money out of me ever again. It was an accident, really.
Right, you just lost track.
Yeah, because you do lose track.
They're banking on that, Jazz. That's
But it is a really good game, and they advertise correctly. They don't make up what the game is. I'm pleased about that.
Yeah.
I will say, just to to kind of play on your side, you are supporting a team of artists that are there on staff that do not get fired, like level designers, programmers. So there is that, but you're still spending probably more than you thought you were. So
yeah, I'm very careful now, but it is easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
But like a couple of games that I got that I really enjoyed, but I could not get. A lot of the garden, I think it's called Gardenscapes and stuff like that, where you build the garden and you solve puzzles to get X, Y, and Z so you can make the garden look pretty and, choose what the garden's going to look like in the inside of the house and all that. They are incredibly fun and mesmerizing games. But you eventually get to the point where you literally can't play it without money.
Right. See, and that's
because the puzzles aren't solvable without the extras and the bombs and the things like that. And that's when I deleted it. And all of them are like that from that particular. Yeah, you get to a certain point where you can't progress without the bombs.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, that was fine. Click.
They start like lowering the timer or the time that you have and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Fishdom and Townscapes or Township are two games that I play from the same company. I forget who. Playrix, I think they're called. Both really good games and nice because I'm out in the field and I have to do something when I'm at my clients' houses. to keep my so they
she's
don't get upset.
Which,
because
by the
I'm
way,
looking
she's
at
a
the mess in
social
their
worker,
house.
not a prostitute.
Yeah.
So
Yes, dear. Sorry.
that's what it.
Probably is worth
right.
mentioning. Yes, I'm a social
when you
worker.
said it that way, I was like, oh, sex worker. Okay.
Yeah. No. Nobody's gonna. No. No. But
everybody
Hey,
is
you got- you
somebody's
got that-
fetish.
You got that dark elf from Iowa thing going. I'm
That's
just
right.
saying. Hey.
Yeah. Well, a lot of my clients get nervous if I look at them.
Right.
So having something to do on my phone while we're talking when I'm sitting in their home is extremely helpful. So I had to pick something to do so that I didn't look like I was looking at, you need to pick up your floor, kind of a thing.
I'm judging you. Yeah.
Yeah, they immediately assume if I'm looking around the house
that you're looking for things that are wrong.
Right, because
which of course you are, because that's just human nature. And that's what everyone thinks when they have people over at their house, isn't it? Sorry, I haven't picked up in days, and their house looks immaculate. And it's like, you're so full of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, when they're like, I'm sorry, the house is such a mess, and there's
No,
like,
you're not.
there's not a thing out of place. Shut
There's
up.
like one cup of water in the dish in the sink. Yeah.
And I'm like, don't ever come over to my house then, because if this is your idea of a mess, good lord.
Yeah, we can't be friends anymore. I wanna switch gears here too. Yunfei, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to switch over to what you had, Yunfei, on the Marvel. Would you please? Because it hurts me.
Would you kindly? Yes.
Oh,
I know the
geez.
story well.
I don't know where to start.
At the very beginning.
The New Warriors from Marvel Comics.
This is when Jazz should have sang "A Very Good Place to Start" since she loves movie musicals. I'm just saying.
Is that in a musical?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's like Mary Poppins, bro. Okay, never mind.
Oh yeah, I was watching that just yesterday. So, not 20 years ago.
Anyhow, carry on, Yunfei.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, Marvel, in their infinite wisdom, has decided to join the woke culture. This was a little while ago, and they're putting out the New Warriors. And there are characters such as Safe Space and Snowflake.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
That's literally their superpowers.
Literally
names.
their names.
I cannot make this up. Yep.
Ugh. Yeah, that's helpful, guys. Thanks.
And they got gender-neutral costumes too. You got to see it, Jazz.
Yeah, they actually
It's gonna
are.
hurt my brain.
Was it Snowflake likes to refer to themselves as they them? Apparently that was the important part of an article I read.
Yep, and that's like the
Before
most
their
important
powers,
part of
too.
their character sheet.
And then the vampire one, I liked his name. B negative. Get it? Because it's like a blood type, but also he's emo. Because he's
God help us.
My brain hurts, man. It hurts.
It's and peripherally I'd
And
heard
I
about
just
this,
want to
and
send them a letter and tell them this isn't helping.
Well, in the
They'll just throw it away.
they're doubling down. They actually had this. This was supposed to have come out before the COVID thing. And then it's funny because they're saying supposedly, from what I looked at, they were like, yeah, there's not even in print yet. It's like, well, this was supposed to come out in April, so yeah, they are. They print comics more than like 2 days in advance. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Probably not.
But
some guy ordered like 500 of them.
one comic book shop ordered 500. I know the comic book shops around here, if they have 500 people just buying comics at all, they're doing pretty well. And they're not all buying the same comic. But what was his mentality, Yunfei, was like, it's gotten so much negative publicity, which, by the way, the trailer for it on YouTube, upvoted 4,000 times, downvoted, I think when I saw it, it was at 276,000 times. People, they don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah. No, he ordered 500 of them because he thought that we would go out and buy them ironically.
No. I like comics. I don't buy stuff I don't want.
Especially now during a freaking pandemic.
Yeah. And
Yeah, they weren't thinking.
no, well, they were trying to be like you said, they were trying to be woke. They were trying to be the what it is. But the thing is,
don't think that they are. They're just trying to get rich off the people that call themselves that.
it's disingenuous, is
Yeah.
what
It
it
is.
feels like.
And then you can turn around and say, because you didn't buy this, you must be part of the problem. See, it's a catch-22, and it's just dirty.
And they are,
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that what
And
they've
they're-
said? They're it's not their fault that they made these characters so bad and so awful. It's the reader's fault for being LGBT and homophobes and against, I don't know, woke culture, whatever, the hell that is.
Whatever the egg is.
Right. That's the thing. It's out there, but yeah, and it's funny to hear Jazz. If you guys know Jazz, Jazz is our communist friend.
Can we not refer to me that way?
What? Oh, I'm sorry. No, but you're very like LGBT and all that stuff.
Yes.
You
I am queer and I am proud.
Right.
And I am liberal. So yes, and this just pisses me off too. So.
right, and there's and all that, and Jazz and I and Strafei and Yunfei, we've all been friends for over a decade. It's awful just to think
Seriously.
about what's wrong with us. We really need to get better friends.
Jazz always reminds me of if you've ever watched The Blind Side, they get the tutor, and she passes all the certifications, and she's like, "I got to tell you one more thing before you hire me." And she's like, "Well, what's that?" She's like, "I'm a Democrat." I said, "Never think we'd hire a Democrat."
Yeah,
and they hired her. And it
yeah,
reminds
they're
me
like,
of
well,
Jazz, the way that
I
character
think their
is.
attitude was, well, nobody's perfect, and that's exactly
Yeah.
how it should be. It's
so
fine.
dumb, but it's funny.
But with this, though, and Yunfei, she's going out to grab Ben real quick. Let him in, so she'll be right back. That's what she hasn't gone quiet because we're talking over her. She's gone quiet because we would have been talking over her, but now we have a legitimate excuse to do that.
She left us, in other words.
But no, the whole woke culture, it can't. You can do it right. When Yunfei and Ben to get back, there was a book series I read. It's called Superpowers for Superheroes. It was really good, and one of the main characters, the father, one of the main characters, he was gay. His name was Titan, and he was, it was a superhero, and they're like a manly man, like 7 foot tall, muscled, and he was a family man, and all this, that, and the other thing, and he ruined his career because he got caught banging another superhero dude. And it ruined his image, and he retired from superheroing and all this, that, and he kind of realizes as the story goes that that's just who he is, and then but it's not it's not his only aspect of the character. He made mistakes,
Right.
He didn't handle things. He's a human being that happens to
Exactly.
also be gay. And it was done really well. He's honestly, Yunfei, I mean, Titan was one of the best characters in that whole series, I thought. I loved him.
Yeah. Ben and
Hands
I liked
down.
him a lot.
Yeah, and he got his own book even. I forget what it was called. It was in that same vein.
It was so on the nose that they're pushing it so hard in your face. And if you want to do it right, you do it like Ash has described. Or if you watch She-Ra, there are lots of gay characters in there. They're not hitting you over the head saying this character is snowflake. They're just
right,
I
literally.
just can't believe that they use that
Literally
term.
saying
I
it.
just, of
one
course,
of the main characters is Bo, and he's got dads, and they don't act ridiculous. They act like normal human beings. They're just
Right.
researchers, and it's awesome. It's like, look, regular people. This is how you do it. You do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the
this
secret to inclusivity is to not make it a thing.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
not
just
a
a thing.
They're just normal people.
Yeah, and Superpowers, by the way, I want to give out it's done by a guy named Drew Hayes, and there's more than one Drew Hayes author out there, so just make sure you go by Superpowers if you actually look it up, and otherwise you'll get the other guy does something totally different. So just
The
heads
other
up.
guy does Poison Elves, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Oh, and the one with Titan in it was called Corpies, but it's a spin-off book that takes place between book 3 and 4 of the regular series. So highly recommend. It's really a good way to do those kind of characters. But, I mean, literally name it. One of them, and the other one, too, is Trailblazer, who's...
Oh, yeah.
She's a chunky gal, which is fine.
But the name pisses me off.
Yeah, but her name is
was-
Trailblazer.
There was a huge shitstorm on Twitter about her, too.
As opposed to, let's say, Glimmer from She-Ra, who's a little heavier. She's an Asian-like character.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not in your face. It's like, oh, it's Glimmer. Cool, whatever.
Right.
Well,
a little bigger than
the
other
funny
ones, that's
thing
fine.
is, what people were complaining about had nothing to do with her weight and everything to do with her really dumb power.
Yeah,
Which is,
she has a
yeah, she's
backpack.
basically Dora the Explorer, and she can pull various items out of her backpack.
She's got a bag of
And-
Oh
holding.
my god.
She's a
Yeah,
human.
and
She's not even a mutant or a
So she's
superpower.
got a bag of holding? That's it?
That's
Yeah,
literally
she
it.
get a bag of holding, and she says that she gets the power from God.
Oh, Lozzie.
Well, that
shoot
just-
me.
I wish I were making this up.
That just
Really?
makes me uncomfortable.
I know, right? But
That's like,
Marvel,
okay, so Marvel's saying, let me look in my bag. What did Jesus pack in my bag today? And they'll dig it in there, right?
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so and I'm looking them up again now because I remember there was a fifth that we have Snowflake and Safe Space, which by the way are twins. Clearly one is female and one is male, but the female is they them, and they are both in. I assume it's spandex bodysuits from an old Eddie Murphy movie from the 1980s.
Yeah, it looks like it.
It's so good too because the boy, get this, you guys, get this. He's wearing pink, and the girl's wearing blue.
I know.
Oh
So
my
edgy.
god. So edgy,
I know,
so
right?
amazing. Oh god, this makes my head hurt.
And okay,
To reference edgelords, go back to MMORP Radio and check out our episode on that.
Right.
But until then,
yeah, this was
Oh my God,
and then you
shoot
have
me.
B negative in Trailblazer. Now, and I skipped over this is the actual first guy because his costume looks pretty normal actually, and his name is Screen Time. And I didn't think, I was like, oh, okay, so they have one normal person.
Oh Jesus, are you wrong?
Nope. I quote, a meme-obsessed super teen whose brain became connected to the internet after becoming exposed to his grandfather's experimental internet gas.
Internet guy.
Are you serious?
so in other words, Grandpa ate too many
not
Fritos.
making this up.
Boomer came up with this shit. This is just
You can't make this shit up.
Now he hold on.
holy fuck.
Hold on.
Gas, you
Oh,
guys.
there's more? This
Now-
is why I
Now
am an
there is
introvert
more.
now.
Now he can see augmented reality in real-time maps and can instantly Google any fact. Does this make him effectively a genius? He sure acts like it does.
He's a fucking cell phone.
He's a cell phone.
He's a phone.
He's Google Glass with a C is what he is.
This just
See, I know we're on the right if we've lost Jazz on this one.
Yeah.
I mean,
There are things that unite us as regular people, and this is one of those, man.
I would pay so much money to have been a fly on the wall
Yeah.
at that meeting.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I actually in the old days, I used to collect comics. Like, I love Marvel. I'm just always a Marvel kid, not a DC kid. I love the DC comics and stuff. I just didn't collect, especially now that they're like $4 a piece, which is not a good value. But I've loved the X-Men. I've got literally thousands of comic books upstairs, all in the little cardboard sleeves and all that shit. And I actually have some of the new ones. They have, I think, is a Firestar here. She's always one of my favorites. Coincidentally, also a redhead, just like Jean Grey, and Phoenix, who is also my favorite. There might be a theme there.
I'm starting to see a theme.
Yeah, I like redheads. But they're actually not a bad team. It looks like their roster's changed quite a bit, except for Firestar. But they're like Night Thrasher, who is a bad guy with a black guy with a luchador mask. It's a weird thing. Leather pants too. Rage, Speedball, and Namorita, which must be Namor's like daughter or something like that. Namor the Submariner, one of the
These
first.
people just need to be slapped. That's what happens. They just need to be slapped.
You have to understand the New Warriors. They're from the Golden Age. They're an old comic too. They're just still kind of around. And then I guess this new team of kids is like they literally call this the New Warriors.
So my mom just stepped in here because I'm down here visiting her, right? She just sent me this note. It said, did they ask elementary or junior high kids for these names or what? She stepped in, put the paper down, and walked out.
I think they went and talked to like 7-year-olds. There's no way they were talking to anybody.
I was going to
older
say,
than that.
I think she asked too high for the grades.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I think you're going the wrong direction. I think it was a bunch of like 80-year-old
men. Yeah.
white dudes
Oh, it absolutely.
sitting around the table.
Well, I mean,
Like,
it
so what's hip with the
absolutely
kids
was.
today?
How do we
Well-
connect with you new youth?
Hello there, fellow kids. You know.
Yeah.
No. And yeah, I gotta say the graphic for Trailblazer, the chick with the backpack. All the others, they're doing super powered stuff, and at least that looks cool. You know, the snowflake, she makes ice shurikens, which I mean is a cool power. It's just the rest of her is awful. But hers is just her back is turned to the where technically the camera is, and the backpack just sparkles. That's all there is to it. It's like, yeah, you're just a human with a
Jesus
backpack.
Sparkles, though. It's Jesus
man.
Sparkles.
No,
Hey,
actually,
I'd like a backpack that has Jesus goodies in it. I'm just saying.
It's stars, actually. It's the sparkles are actually just literally like 4-sided stars. So
I really don't care. I just want it to stop.
you know what? What would be better with that is if her backpack turns out to be the Ark of the Covenant.
Oh, dude, dude.
You know, there, I fixed her.
Don't make me open this
She wears
bag.
the Ark of the Covenant on her back.
As the
Look at
light
that.
streams out and turns everyone to skeletons.
Exactly. There you go.
Right, but one of my favorite things recently has been to do is to come up with some of this stuff as if it was written and told by the way of a 5-year-old. Like 2020, all of this year could be told by a 5-year-old. You know, so at first there were fires down in where the koalas live, and the koalas got burned up. But then it didn't matter anymore because then there was a bat virus, and the bat virus went all over the world, and it got everybody really sick. But not everybody got sick because some people said it didn't exist. And then there's other people, and then there's murder hornets came out of nowhere, and they were murdering people. And then NASA said that there were aliens, and they came out with pictures of aliens, and they said that there's aliens.
Yep, that sounds like a 6-year-old.
Right.
Yep.
So there's going to be a new superhero team, and one of them is going to be connected to the internet because he has experimental internet gas from his uncle. And then there's going to be 2 twins, but they're going to wear different colors of pink and blue. And one of them makes bubbles, but he can't make a bubble for himself. And the other one's got snowflakes that shoot out of her like ninja stars. And then there's a vampire, and he's negative, and his name is B negative because he has a haircut, and his sides of his heads are shaved, and he's still alive, but he's still also a vampire. And then there's a girl that has a backpack like Dora, and she can pull everything out of her backpack, but she can't choose what it does because God tells her not to.
You know, Ashton, that kid would got beat up so bad back in the day when we were in school in the playground. I'm just saying.
That's how the New Warriors became a thing.
Goodness gracious.
Shoot me.
Serious
So
business.
so that was thanks for bringing that, Yunfei.
Oh, guys, go do some reading on it. Watch some YouTube videos. The hole gets even deeper than that.
I don't want to make my aneurysm any worse. So I'm gonna just accept that insanity is out there and let it go.
Yep. Also, hey Ben.
Oh, hey Ben.
Oh, hi Mark. I don't know if his mic's
Hi.
working or not.
He's here. He's trying to get stuff
No
to
worries.
work.
But yeah, the other thing too is that Marvel. I watched the video. Actually, you know what? I'll post the videos up in our Discord chat if anybody actually wants to see that. But the industry is blaming, like, it's the fans that don't want this. They're the reason the industry is failing. No, the industry failing is the reason something like this. This is the symptom of why the industry is failing. This isn't what caused the industry to fail. The industry failing is what caused this to happen.
Yes.
It's not the other way around. There's the guy that she from Nerdrotic, well, I'd not really heard of, but she pointed out, so I watched the 18 minutes of it because it was interesting and I like comics. But it's just so unfortunate because I want comics. I learned to read the way I do because of comic books. The scripts I read at the even though I do trip over it, but you try reading something off the top of your head while doing a stupid voice. But I was a horrible reader. I was terrified to read out loud in school. I was very, very slow. I couldn't read for shit until I got into comic books, and I get to X-Men number 17 was my very first comic book back in the late 90s, and I collected all of them after that, and I learned basically how to read and read well due to comic books. They're an amazing source of imagination. They're fantastic for teaching kids, even teenagers like I was. I mean, at that point, I had to have been 15, 16 years old, and I was still awful at reading. I hated reading. Reading was stupid because I was so slow at it. And now, it's not that big a deal. I role play all the time. That's all I do is practically read all day long. Except a book. I like audiobooks still better than actually reading a book. Nobody's perfect.
I mean, reading a book and driving at the same time is
right.
Probably not the best idea.
It's funny how male people get in trouble for doing that. It's weird. I don't know why.
Yeah, you're just doing it wrong.
That's right. I'm not doing it like all the other people I see on my way to work, putting makeup and eyeliner on and eating, tea and biscuits. I drive through part of London, apparently. The other thing, too, is this one I had to put up for Yunfei, Umbrella Academy 2.
I saw the announcement video, and I was so happy.
That was actually a pretty cute... That had to have been recorded because they were all in lockdown, right? That's why they were all... Okay.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Umbrella Academy Season 2, July 31st on Netflix. It was... Season 1 was just great. It was such a great show. So we had to put that in there. Boy, we still had a lot to get to, but that's the great thing about this show. We can always push it off to the next episode, except for this one.
Story.
But because I have to get this out. So again, mailman. In my Walmart parking lot, they cleared out the section where they usually about half the section where they put during this time of year the plants and fertilizers and stuff in the parking lot, and they put in a COVID-19 testing center. It was a double lane of cones, and they had a whole bunch of people there. Also, keep in mind, Oklahoma's only Tulsa in particular has only had around a little over 200 deaths, so not a lot of people have that here. So there was only one car in the parking lot. And the fact that there's a testing center, good. We need more tests. That's fantastic. Now the problem with this testing center was the 8 to 10 people there doing the testing were eating, which is fine in itself.
No.
Sale sitting on a curb shoulder to shoulder in a small circle. No masks, no gloves, no coverings.
Of course
just
they
in
were.
street clothes. Eating out of plastic containers they probably bought from the, Charlie's Chicken right behind them. With their hands at the COVID-19 testing center.
That's amazing.
With their hands.
That's my brain.
Yeah, not a I've seen pictures of the COVID-19 testing centers in the rest of the country. They've got the goggles or the face shield and a mask and those little cinchy hoodie white clothes that you look like you're from what's the quarantine or what's the other one?
Hazmat suits, bro.
Yeah, well, not quite hazmat suits. I mean, it's not like the ones that Cuba Gooding Jr. had in Outbreak, but
those.
But there's still there's still like what you wear when you're taking asbestos out of an old building. Right. It keeps you. No, they were just in the same clothes I was wearing, delivering mail, eating and talking around each other with the center right there, and one dude in a white pickup. Apparently either waiting to get tested for COVID or get it. I don't know. Maybe I misunderstand what a COVID-19 center is. Maybe it's where you go to get COVID so that you can build up that herd immunity I'm always hearing about.
So an entertaining story about that. I actually had to get COVID tested yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like jamming a Q-tip up into your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's awful. I have a friend of mine that did it. She was
Did you forget who you were for an hour? Because that's what it looks like would happen when you get tested for this.
I'm still not sure who I am.
Ben, come back!
But yeah, it has it's and the flu. It's like the flu test, which is awful, but worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the flu test is pretty bad.
Yeah,
I can sit up for that. But a friend of mine told me that if I ever have to get tested, to insist they do it with me laying down.
Yeah, they actually they had me lie back in my chair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it's seriously, I'm not kidding. It feels like they're jamming a Q-tip up in your brain.
Yeah, because the one just goes up into the like right. It goes into the nasal cavity right behind where like the bone for your nose starts in your skull.
Right.
And then this one, I think it touches the ocular nerve where it connects to the brain.
It's like a lobotomy.
Yeah.
It's awful. She was just like, she came so close. She says, I've been doing this kind of stuff a long time. I was prepared. I knew it was going to suck. I nearly punched the person in the face. She was like, you need to warn them that you have PTSD, Jess, because you're going to hurt someone.
You need two to have two
I need to be
burly
down,
men put you in a jacket.
And it won't be my fault. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah,
that's when they tried to. They've tried to do medical things on me before and told me that I could be awake.
Yeah, and you're like,
that's funny.
You know.
And I was like, that won't work. Don't do that.
How were the results, Ben? Were they?
Basically, we were told if we don't hear anything that I don't have COVID.
Well, that's
we
good.
haven't heard anything so far.
So far. How long did they
Usually
say?
It's
how long
2 or 3
that takes?
days.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said 48 hours.
48 hours. Okay.
Update: our buddy at work does not have it. He's feeling better, so that's good.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
So now he can sneeze up into the air like all the rest of us do now.
Yeah. He's still working at home though, so hey.
Yeah. Well, he's working. It's not. Yeah. So, okay, wait. I see you here, Strafay. You had a COVID thing too. Since we're on COVID, before we end the show, let's go ahead and get that done.
All right. Well, I had to replace my driver's license plate in the front of my truck.
Oh, that's always fun.
That was Thursday morning. I lost it right before May started and everything locked down, so the tax office wasn't open. Fortunately, the Governor Abbott, he postponed any of that nonsense until May, and then even in May, he gave us 30 days because everything was shut down. We couldn't get our stuff fixed. Anyhow, I get to the door. There's folks with gloves on, folks with not gloves on. These are patrons and people working there. There's a table right in front of that place, the guy taking your temperature check, whilst handing you a pen that everybody's touched to write your name down. Fortunately, I brought my own pen. I went, I'll use my own things.
Right.
And I had my mask on for him because he looked nervous. Did my name, went in there. I looked over. There's this taller dude in there who was looking at me. I looked at him. I pulled my mask down. There was a knowing look of this is nonsense, and we just did our deal. They had big plexiglass sheets up, between you and the people helping you out. So it is what it is. That was that. Then I walked back by the guy who took my temperature, and I was like, "Have a good day," with a big old grin. He looked at me like I was a space alien because I had my mask down.
Mm-hmm. I was
later that day. I went to Kroger. I looked at everybody. It was all the young folks. Half of them are wearing masks, half are not. All the old folks are wearing their masks. And so I'm looking at that. I was like, no. I pulled my mask down and walked around. And I started getting some amused looks, and I got some horrified looks. And if they gave me a horrified look, I would just tip my hat and be like, how's it going? Big old grin kept on going. But it's definitely made people a little edgy. I've noticed this.
For the most part, though, they don't do anything because people don't do it. They touch all over their. Like
they're touching their mask
in Walmart, and there were 3 Walmart people, managers at that. One of them had the mask on, one of them didn't have a mask on, and one of them had a mask on, but he had pulled it down to one ear so that he could talk to the other 2.
Right, which is defeats the purpose.
Or they walk around with it under their nose.
Under their nose, right? Which is again.
Well, don't wear one if that's what you're going to do.
Basically,
for God's sake.
Well, a little to put it in perspective, the masks don't actually do anything. The only way you have protection against COVID is if you wear an N95 mask. The regular surgical masks, or sorry, N95. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
The only way you have protection with the masks that they give people, the surgical masks, is if you already have it, and then you just don't transmit it as far.
Yeah, the cloth and surgical masks only prevent you from giving it, not from getting it. N95 masks And then even with those, like for someone like me, you guys, I have a beard.
You have a beard.
I would have to shave all of this off, unless you did what that one guy did I saw on YouTube, which is he shaved around through his beard where the mask connects, and that was a look that I think is really going to catch on.
The best analogy I heard for the whole, because we got cloth masks at work, and it's annoying. We had to sign a waiver. But the best analogy for this nonsense, and Ben's right, is you're trying to keep mosquitoes out with a chain link fence. There you go. And, hey.
Yep.
Yeah, my daughter's boyfriend, he works. And that's. And I see people complaining all the time. Well, nurses and such wear these things for 12 hours a day, and they do great inside an air-conditioned building usually. Her boyfriend, however, he works at a car dealership. It was 85 degrees and humid yesterday, and he had to wear one of those the N95s, and he passed out.
Yeah,
he just flat out passed out. Had to go home.
Yeah.
Because
the other thing too is that
good enough air, and it was 85 degrees and humid.
Yeah, the other thing too is that like a nurse wearing a surgical mask, they also have like a plexiglass face shield.
Right.
I mean, they've got protective.
They're wearing a welding mask over their mask. Yeah. They can either come and give you an injection, Ben, or they can reattach your bumper. Either one.
Yeah.
But you can't have both.
Right. Well, I mean, you get a really good nurse that can, both do car work and give you an IV drip.
What gets me about this whole thing is this illness came over here. People started getting sick.
Mm-hmm.
America, because apparently we're all a bunch of smartasses. Half of us were like, "Oh, it doesn't exist. It's a hoax," and the other half were like, "Oh my God, the world is ending." And there was no middle ground. And like, the people who were taking measures, like wearing a mask and social distancing and all of that, it's almost like you're just pissing into the wind because the rest of the population isn't doing it.
Pretty much.
It's kind of like we were at the post office. A lot of us, it was never a requirement, but most of us did wear masks actually for quite some time. Recently, I've noticed there's nobody doing it anymore, but that was also our states opening up. But it's one of those things where either we all have to, everyone does it, or there's almost no point in doing it.
Right, but in the United States especially, oh God Christ, it's like herding cats. You cannot get everyone in the U.S. to do something at the same time. You just can't do it.
Especially if they don't want to do it.
There's always going to be the Covidiots that are like, "No, man, this deathly thing isn't going to prevent me from going to spring break."
Well, yeah, those
those kids.
Those kids too. I forget how many dozens of them actually came down with it as well, because that was at the height of this. People doing stuff now is one thing, but then when it was actually burning out of control, because it was all about flattening the curve. Curve is flattened.
Right, and all they had to do was follow directions.
Yeah.
There was just chill. Chill in your house for a couple weeks.
The biggest problem with a lot of that is like those guys were very high profile. They're like a fraction of a % of the actual people. I've actually seen a lot of studies that before the government and the local government and state and federal actually started asking for this stuff, people were already not doing it. Like movie theaters were already ghost towns practically. Yes, there were a few people, but restaurants were already I had them on my route before we did it here. I had 2 restaurants closed down of their own volition before it became mandated by the state. People were already even things like what's that? Jack in the Box. The Jack in the Box on my route. They closed they're still open. They're still open now too, but they had closed their lobby down before it was ordered. A lot of
restaurants here did that too. They closed their lobby immediately.
Yeah.
And we had a couple of restaurants who actually built a drive-through in the 3 weeks they were down because they said, you know what? I have a bad feeling we're going to need this.
I've got a liquor store on my driving route, and they I think part of it is tongue in cheek, but they built like wire shelving in the front door so people aren't coming in their store, and they would go in and get it for you. But each one of the guys is in a white lab coat, and they've got the masks and goggles on. They look like they're from the slow-mo guys. But I'm pretty sure part of it might be safety, and part of it might be like, let's have fun with this. You know, we're delivering alcohol because they were actually allowed. Usually, you can't have alcohol in open containers or with lids and stuff, and the state's like,
right?
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that. So, but
they're actually going to be continuing that too.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, nothing stopped people from doing it before. Really, I mean, it's. Just because you make it illegal doesn't mean they're not going to do that. But the drive-through liquor stores, I mean, California, Texas, a lot of states have had those forever.
Yeah, man. That's drive-through beer barn, bro.
Yeah. I mean, it ends up in this. Whether I go into a liquor store and pick it up and then put it in my car, or I go through a drive-through at a liquor store and then put it in my car, it ends up in the same place. Me regretting all my decisions at 11 o'clock at night.
Oof. Rough.
What is that too honest there? So
no, it's just funny.
All right. Well, anyone have any last thing they want to get out before we close this thing down?
Animal Crossing. Okay, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm doing a blind playthrough of everything.
Of everything. How's your eyes doing, by the way, Ben? Getting any better?
They're getting better.
Yeah. Still doing on the Han Solo recovery, just a big white blur.
No, I can see some stuff. It's just not quite there yet.
Right. That's good. At least you're recovering. So,
yeah.
Oh yeah, and lastly, real quick, Empire and Pac-Man turned 40. Woo! The end. That's all I got.
The end.
The end. So, all right. Well, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I especially appreciate everybody here for coming. Jazz, Trafay, Ben, Yunfei. You guys are awesome. You're fantastic. So let's click that on. There we go. Really appreciate everybody tuning in. If you haven't subscribed to us over at twitch.tv/crashed while loading, give us a subscription. Join us live. We're probably going to start opening up the mic. Our call. We actually previously were a call-in show where listeners could call in and have their say if they wish to. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't continue that. Just make sure you keep it short and to the point and not carry on forever like we do, because that's our job and you're not taking it from us. So yeah, twitch.tv/crashwellloading. Join us over on our Discord. There's a link there at the bottom of that. We can share stories if you want to between episodes and see what's going on. And with that, I want to thank everybody, and I need to really think of an outro with this thing because I don't really have one. Before, I would do something about halflings and why they're horrible, horrible creatures, and I don't have that with this show. So, good night, everybody. Music, as always, is provided by Husky by the Geek. Visit him at youtube.com/HuskyByTheGeek to hear all his great video game covers and original music.